We're in a bit of a wait-and-see mode here in Washington, D.C. There was so much activity over the past 24 hours where we saw Trump rushing back from the G7. We saw him having a National Security Council meeting, which lasted over an hour. We didn't get any news out of that. We didn't get any word of what was discussed. He also spoke with Netanyahu, and we didn't get a readout of that call. So we're waiting to see what kind of a decision President Trump makes. The most significant thing that we saw over the past day is a shift in the language that Trump is using. When the strikes began on Friday, the U.S. was very careful. The White House was very careful with its language. They repeated again and again that we have nothing to do, no direct involvement with this Israeli offensive against Iran. The concern was that that would make U.S. assets and personnel in the region targets of Iran as well. The U.S. was very clear that they didn't have any involvement with it. But then Trump changed all of that through a series of posts where he referred to this operation and he talked about it as we have control over the skies. We know where the supreme leader is. So the question was whether the U.S. was shifting its position and going to join forces with Israel. We haven't heard anything since then. The options that could be on the table are, for instance, whether the U.S. would support Israel in targeting some of those nuclear facilities that are far, far underground. The Israeli military doesn't have the capabilities to go after those, but the U.S. does. So the question is whether Trump will decide to support Israel on that. And then there was the other thing that Trump floated. He kind of floated this whole conversation about, we know where the supreme leader is. And he said that, we're not going to kill the supreme leader, at least for now. And that raised all kinds of questions about regime change, and that would raise questions, legal international questions, policy questions, and of course the uncertainty, given all the lessons that we've seen from regime changes in the region over the past recent history with unknown consequences. And then the final issue is whether all of this is just bargaining tactics from Trump, whether he's trying to push the Iranian, leadership into a corner and try to get them back to the bargaining table when it comes to the nuclear deal.
Leonie Lacani, thank you, Leonie.